Hello! I am the artist known as DEROSNEC, and welcome to my weekly vlog where I talk about making music, art, movies, and more. In part 2 of this illustration process series, I talked about finding reference and incorporating that into planning for the final art piece. There are a few ways to translate the plans into the final. If it's a digital piece, then it can be as simple as creating a layer and roughing out a clearer version of the thumbnail. If you've ever watched one of my speed drawings, which I've recorded off of my iPad, then you've seen what I'm talking about. It's the traditional media pieces where sometimes you have to get creative in how you translate the thumbnails in the most useful way. If I have no other option, like a mural on a wall for example, I'll usually lightly sketch it out directly onto the material on which the final piece will be with a pencil or something else that's temporary or washable. Though if you want to get fancy and have some flexibility in being able to resize on the fly, you could project the image onto the material using a projector and take it from there in whichever way you see fit. Usually with paper, you do have some more options. For example, I used an animation lightbox for a long time to get nice clean lines without having to redraw anything. If you don't have a lightbox, you can get the same effect by putting a lamp or a flashlight under a glass table or even a large picture frame and drawing on top of that. Don't ever use the fact that you don't have fancy gear or tools as an excuse not to make art. Alternately, you can just go straight to drawing or painting directly and keep the thumbnail handy for reference. But I personally like the consistency and quality that I get by having the rough sketch ready for a final outline. As long as I can manage to get the blueprints down without affecting the final materials in a detrimental way, then I'm good. Anyway, once I've translated my thumbnail into a blueprint, if applicable, I'll start outlining if it's a pencil or an ink piece. From there, I'll let the pen guide me over my rough sketch until everything I want to be outlined is outlined. Oh, almost forgot. Know what your light source is, preferably in the thumbnail stage. But if necessary, you can start working that out in the outline stage too. If you're going to be doing any sort of inked shading styles like straight black and white or hatching, then this will be very important in figuring out how to best use values, as well as negative and positive space within the composition. If it's a painting, then it's imperative that you have an idea of where that light source is before you put any paint on that canvas. Start blocking out the shapes and the colors and put those light and dark values wherever it makes sense for them to be, depending on the light in the scene. Now back to my favorite style, pen and ink. If I decide to take it to color, I like to use soft lead colored pencils with watercolor accents. In which case, I'll put the watercolor as a base, where I want a super saturated look, and then add details and gradients with the pencils once it's dry. How do you get your thumbnails and rough sketches ready for final production? What are your favorite techniques and media to draw with? Tell me all about it in the comments below. Next week I'll be telling you about an exciting project that I'm launching, so be sure to tune in next Thursday to hear all about it. Thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up button below and join the Uncensored by subscribing to my YouTube channel, my newsletter, or by following me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you never want to miss a video, be sure to click the little notification bell icon too. Thank you so much again. I will see you next week.